Lesson 46 is about conjunctions. And conjunctions are problems like what we have here. We need to draw a number line and graph the solution of 5 is less than x, which is less than 10. Now a conjunction will just have these two parts. We need to figure out where x belongs. So we know 5 is less than x. If 5 is less than x on our number line, we're going to have an open circle because it's less than. It's less than x, so x must be going to the right, but we know x is less than 10. So if x is less than 10, well, it must be less than 10, so it's headed back to the left. Well, all we need to do to figure out where x is to combine these two lines. If we combine these two lines and we turn them into one piece, we now have our final answer. This is how we draw a number line and graph the solution to a conjunction like 5 is less than x, which is less than 10. Now, in this, let's go ahead and look at our next example. We want to draw a number line and graph the solution of -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. So we can go ahead and we can sketch out a number line here. So on our number line, we've got 0 in the middle. Then our biggest one, well, it looks like the biggest one is 4 on the right. So we'll go out 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we'll label our fourth. It's a number line, so we've got the head of an arrow. And we've got -2 on the left. We'll get the head of the arrow there. We'll put a -3 and a -4 in to balance everything out. Now we know -2 is less than x. If -2 is less than x, we're going to have an open circle because it's only less than. -2 is less than x, that means x must be somewhere over here, so we're going to the right. -2 is less than x. And then x is less than or equal to 4. If x is less than or equal to 4, now we need a closed circle because it's less than or equal to it. X is less than or equal to 4, we must be going back to the left. We can combine these two, and we've successfully written our conjunction for the graph of the solution of -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. Okay, let's write a conjunction that describes this graph. We can see that we've got -5 as our smallest value, and it could be less than -5 because we're going to the right, or it could be -5. So we're going to have -5 is less than or equal to, and we're going to call it x. And then x is going to be less than 0. Because we know x is to the left of 0, it's somewhere in this region. It does not include 0 because 0 is an open circle, so it's just less than. And we've got our conjunction that describes this graph. Alright, now we want to write the conjunction that designates numbers that are greater than -1 and less than or equal to -5. Well, if they're greater than -1, we're going to say -1 is going to be less than x. Because x is greater than -1, we can write it in the opposite direction, and less than or equal to 5. And we've got our answer. The key with this part was to look at that greater than -1 and write it as -1 is going to be less than x, so that we can have this all written in one piece. Write it as a compound inequality with two parts. And we've got our final answer. Lesson practice will be on page 186. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.